Hey everyone, thanks for joining. We're going to give it about a few more seconds to let everyone else join in. All right, well, thanks for coming to today's Lunch and Learn, Atomic Search versus Canvas Smart Search. I'm Lauren Romano, and joining me today is Nick Rebney. He is our VP of Revenue, and Ben Runyon. He is your Customer Success Specialist. Today, we're going to take you through Atomic Search for Canvas with its latest features like find and replace, and we will show you how it compares to Canvas's new Smart Search. Before I pass it off to Nick, I will quickly go over the agenda for this 30-minute session. Nick is going to start off with a brief overview of Atomic Jolt and what we do to enhance teaching and learning in your LMS. We'll then do a live demo of Search right in Canvas. During the demo, please feel free to drop all your questions into the Q&A or the chat, and we will be sure to answer them all. The session is being recorded, so we will follow up with everyone after to share the recording. If you need additional support with Atomic Search, you can reach out to Ben, your customer success specialist. He's going to go ahead and drop his email into the chat for you. And as a reminder, we are giving away 5 Uber Eats gift cards today. So if you're here attending, you are automatically entered to win. So just be sure to check your email after today's session to see if you're one of the lucky winners. All right, well, Nick, take it away.
Thanks, Lauren. Good day, everyone. As Lauren mentioned, I'm Nick Rebney, Vice President of Revenue for Atomic Jolt. Really pleased to be speaking with you today. Thank you all for your adoptions of Atomic Search. I know many of you have been with us a long time, and some of you just for a couple of terms now. But we appreciate your support and always eager to hear from our customers. So don't hesitate to reach out to us to let us know what's going on in your world. Well, as Lauren mentioned, I'll give you a brief overview of Atomic Jolt. I know most of you are customers already, so you have a sense of who we are, but just to contextualize, where we sit in the landscape of the service providers that you have. And then we'll get into the differences between the Smart Search tool that Canvas has recently released and Atomic Search. As many of you know, we are a teaching and learning technology company, so we work with all of the major learning management systems out there, Canvas being a primary one of those. And we create teaching and learning tools that extend and enhance learning management systems. So what we do is not try to compete with tools that are already built inside of those enterprise platforms that you have, but rather identify gaps and needs that institutions like yourselves have and seek to improve on what you're doing. So that's really generated the ability to deliver a number of the products that we support, Atomic Search being one of them, with a lot of differentiators between what Smart Search has and what Atomic Search can deliver. I'm going to start out by going through a couple of the different use cases and roles that leverage Atomic Search, and we'll kind of bounce between the slides here and a live demonstration in our Canvas instance. The first thing I want to touch on is the differences between students. So as you know, as users, the student level role really leverages Atomic Search. Instructors, instructional designers, other support roles like that leverage Atomic Search, as do LMS administrators. So a lot of power in all of those roles by leveraging Atomic Search. So to start with, we'll start off with the student level role. So there's a number of differences that Atomic Search provides versus the Smart Search tool in Canvas. On top of that list is placement. So you all know that through that JavaScript injection, you have a search bar really on every screen in Canvas. So anywhere that you're at or your students are at, they see that search bar. It's easy for them to use, and they can go ahead and execute the search that they're looking for. A primary differentiator is cross-course searching. So Smart Search is a great tool if you're looking for information within a single course. So say you're a student, you're studying in your Bio 101 course, and you're looking for content just inside of that Bio 101 course. But let's say you are a med student, right? And Bio 101 is one of your courses, but as are many other courses that build on top of each other. And you want to be able to search for that content across multiple courses that you're enrolled in. Smart Search doesn't give you that ability, whereas Atomic Search from Atomic Jolt provides you the ability to search across courses. So students can find information not only in their course, but other courses. And through that context, they can also filter results. So if they're looking for assignments or files or things very specifically, they can do that. In addition, we search a lot more content types in Canvas than Smart Search does. So you can see the list there on the screen, and I'll show you how you can identify those different things within Smart Search. And then semantic search, that's the ability to find relevant or like terms. We will be releasing that later in 2025, but Smart Search has that capability currently. So I'll just jump out to Canvas at this time and kind of go through some of the student use cases that I talked about. So the first thing that we mentioned is the placement. So you can see Search My Courses is already showing. So students don't need to really find this hidden in a menu somewhere. They can, or a navigation bar, they can just execute a search that they're looking to deliver here. Similarly, when they're inside of their course, they have that search bar available to them anywhere that they're at in the course. The main thing to look at is you can see that this language says search this course. However, when I was on the dashboard, it says search my courses. So depending on the placement, it automatically scopes the search to be applicable for the level that you want. And then through the filtering, you can adjust it up and down. So let's say I'm searching for a term like mitochondria in this particular course. Atomic Search delivers the results immediately, and you can see it's already scoped to just looking inside this course because I was inside my course here, and it's looking inside. It's looking just for the results inside of that course. Let's say I actually wanted to look across all of the courses that I'm enrolled in. I could change that filter to my courses, and then you can see I have many more results here for this term across all of my courses. So a lot of value, a lot of power there for the students to be able to find that learning content across all of the courses that they're interested in finding. And then from that, they can then filter those things down. So if I knew I was looking for a file, for example, I knew mitochondria was part of a Word document or a PDF file that my instructor has provided me access to, I can easily filter down to that and then find that content directly in that file. And as you'll notice here, as many of you I'm sure know, as customers, it searches not only the content, the things natively typed in, if you will, to Canvas, but also LinkedIn documents or uploaded files such as this. It will index and search that learning material. So just to recap, Smart Search is only searching that course, not able to kind of scope up or down based on what you're looking for there. Okay. Additionally, you could certainly execute searches that are non-standard. So there's lots of search operators that are available for students to do. So for example, I was searching for mitochondria. If I didn't quite know or I wanted to search multiple types of MITO, I can use the asterisk there, which will be a wildcard search. And in that case, the results will not only be mitochondria because it starts with MITO, but any other term or word that starts with MITO. So that's a way for students to be able to identify terms outside of the exact term that they're looking for. As you know, you can certainly do, or students can do phrase searches as well. So if they're searching for very specific passages, they can certainly do that by placing quotation marks around it, and then it'll find that very specific phrase anywhere that exists in their course or their courses. Okay, so that goes over some of the benefits of Atomic Search as a student level role. Let's jump back to the slides and take a look at some additional use cases for another role inside of the learning management system, which would be kind of that faculty level role. In many cases, instructional designers are listed as faculty, or they're mapped to that global LTI role. or they might be admins. So there's a couple of contexts that we could talk about here, but a few different things for faculty and instructional designers that take it beyond what Smart Search can do. Those are things like find and replace. So many of you are familiar, I hope, with a find and replace. That's something that we released about a year ago now. We initially had it behind a feature flag or by request only, but back in January, we turned it on for all administrators. So all LMS administrators that use Atomic Search have access to find and replace. And then you have the power to deploy that to faculty level roles. So by default, that's turned off for faculty level roles, but you have the option to turn that on. In our demonstration, it will be on for faculty, but just know that you can turn that off. So that's one. So that's the ability to search across a course or across all of your courses or the account and find terms and replace those with other terms. It's ability for faculty to see search analytics on their course level. So understand what students are searching for and maybe where they need to make content more accessible. And then there's another tool that pairs with Atomic Search called Atomic Author. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll show you a little bit about how that tool works as well. Okay, so back out to our Canvas instance here. And if you're not familiar with how to find and replace, if you just click on the search icon up here, it will open up the main menu page for Atomic Search, and then you have a find and replace function. So at this level, as you saw, I was on my dashboard. I can execute a find and replace across all of the courses that I have access to. So again, by finding that in that area, if it's turned on for you and you have access, it will show up. If you don't have access from your role, it won't show up for you in this area. And so I've already executed a search. In this case, I wanted to find the word polls, and I wanted to replace the word polls with the word surveys. So a pretty basic example, but you can imagine a lot of context in your use case in terms of policies or other common language that you have across your LMS that might need to change. So there's lots of different use cases. We have some case studies on our website that I invite you to check out on our blog that talk about a couple of institutions and how they leverage find and replace to save a ton of time in updating content across their LMS. So you can see if I open up, what it shows me is across all of the different courses. So these are individual courses here that I've searched for, and the term polls has been found, and it shows me already what it might be if I replace that. If I ever wanted to jump to that course, I could jump to that exact page where polls existed and see what that replacement might look like. And then I can replace all of them at one time, or I can decide to do individual sort of targeted replacements as I go along. And you can see this will execute for a moment and then change out this word. So you can see it's completed pretty quickly. If I go back to that content and refresh the page, polls has now turned into the word surveys. So it's really that simple to be able to deliver or to update content. I've noticed a comment in the chat about speed. So there are times where the find and replace does take a little while. It is working through the HTML of all of those content areas every time it's doing a search and making that replacement. So you can run this, and then you're welcome to close out the browser tab. It will still run in the background. So it's not something where you have to wait on that page to continue that find and replace. It will complete after you've set that off. So that's an example, again, at across courses where you can do that. You can also do much more targeted things within a particular course. So if I go into a course here and I similarly, hit the Atomic Search icon, and if I have access to find and replace, it shows up for me there. And if I wanted to change a URL, right? Some video has changed, this YouTube video, where again, I've got a outdated video here maybe, and I want to replace that with the new video, and you've got that a lot of different places across courses. You can do that using this context. There's a comment in the regular expression. So yeah, if you do know regex, you can do that. to search for it across and do those replacements. So here is the video of that. You can update that page and you can see that video is now changed. Okay, moving along, instructors can see analytics. One of those things I gave you a little preview of. If I am an instructor and I'm inside of a course and I have the word cloud turned on, you can see how it demonstrates all of the searches that are happening across my course here. And the larger the word, obviously, the more often that term is being searched. So an instructor gets a preview there of how that is working. However, they also have the ability to view analytics at a course level using the triple dot menu. They can look at analytics of different searches that have occurred over different time periods. So again, getting a sense of what students are trying to find in your course can maybe help you organize your content differently for student usage. Okay. The third thing that instructors, instructional designers, content managers have options is Atomic Author. So this is a tool that requires a separate LTI install. So if you do not have this available, please reach out to Ben and you're interested in it, and he can get it installed for you. But what Atomic Author is the ability to search, preview, and insert content across your course. So for example, both at the page, assignment, module level, really anywhere the rich content editor exists, you can search through different databases of learning material and instantly add that to your course. So you can see I'm on a page here within Canvas. If you have it installed, you can edit that page and then identify, let's say you wanted to install or you wanted to implement an image. You wanted to spruce up this page. You needed an image for the page. Once it's installed, you have Atomic Author available to you. That Atomic Author tool will launch. And then there's different sources here. So I can search for, say, cell, and I want to find an image of cell, and then I can execute that search. It's going to search through different databases, and one of those is Canvas Commons. The other one is your courses. So if you're trying to pull things up from previous terms, that's a good way to do it. You can preview that image by clicking on it. It's a nice image of a cell, and then you can insert that content directly inside of your page. So you can see it populate inside of that page there, and then once you save that, you've got the image of the cell here that you want to. You can do that, as I mentioned, also at the assignment level. So if you're looking for an assignment to improve your course or add additional context to students, you can use the triple dot menu on the assignments menu and find Atomic Author. And very similarly, instead of searching for an image in this case, I want to find an assignment that somebody has created for cells, and I can execute that search. Again, there's maybe something in Canvas Commons. I can preview what that assignment looks like, and then I can import that into my course. And so very quickly, I can use assignments out there that I like and incorporate those as part of my course. And then you can do whole modules as well. So on the module page of Canvas, if I use that triple dot menu again, I've got Atomic Author. And then again, search for cell and look for an entire module of content out there and execute that search. And I find that information here. So you can preview that. You can see that this is a very fairly comprehensive module on, in this case, microscopes, and I can import that and insert that. Okay. So that is an example of Atomic Author. Allows you to preview, insert, or search. First of all, obviously, preview and insert content directly into your Canvas instance. All right, moving back to our slides here, we'll validate a few other things for admins. Obviously, you all, many of you, I'm sure, on this call are Canvas administrators. You have lots of power using Atomic Search. So Atomic Search provides a ton of value to you beyond what Smart Search can provide. And those are things like we've already gone over, account level searching, find and replace not only at the course level or across courses, if it's for instructors that they can replace across their courses, but really across the entire Canvas account. You get search analytics at a global level, so you can see the usage and prove value there of Atomic Search. And then you can download results. We haven't really talked about that one, but let's take a look at that separate use case. So first of all, you admins out there can utilize find and replace, as we showed you, both at the course level, at the administration, or at the dashboard level, and at the administration admin level. So similarly, using the icon there, if it's turned on for you, which it all should be turned on for you now at find and replace, you can execute find and replaces, of course, across the entire account that you've got. The other feature I mentioned that we haven't really took a look at too much is a different search capability. One of them is URL searching. So if you're looking to manage your third-party integrations or websites that instructors are using, you could find all instances where, in this case, YouTube is being used. So you have this URL operator to find really any website that's being used across the Canvas account and see everywhere that exists in your learning management system. You can then download or save those search results. So obviously you can go in and do a find and replace if you're looking to replace those things, but maybe you're just looking to inventory tools that people are using. So you can download those search results, and then basically it gives you a CSV file with some metadata. So you can go directly to where that installation is in the course through that URL, find where that information exists, course ID, term, what that exact URL is, when it was updated, lots of different information that maybe is valuable to you as you're managing the learning content across Canvas. So lots of different capability there. Beyond that, you've got all of those great use cases that I've showed you across the students and the instructor or instructional designer levels, and provides you a ton of value. I mentioned the usage analytics, so you can launch usage analytics through the menu here. I have it pulled up already, but you can see that through your account, you'd be able to understand the gross users that you have at the student, teacher, and level. And then you can look at actual searches that are being made across courses, and lots of information there to judge how well that tool is being used. You can do searches by course, right? So you can look at across all of the courses that I have in my learning management system. I can see which courses are performing the most searches. So, might be useful information for you to understand, the power users of Atomic Search, or potentially courses that aren't structured well enough where students are really having to use the search to find things more seamlessly. But anyway, some different pieces of information that gives you that context there. All right. Well, I'll head back and just summarize before we get into the Q&A part. But just to summarize the differences between Atomic Search and Smart Search, that global search capability, so searching across courses and across the account, as opposed to Smart Search, which is really a single course and mostly for student usage. Atomic Search provides you all the power that you need to manage Canvas across the board. Content management, so certainly no find and replace inside of Smart Search. So you've got a lot of use cases, I'm sure, that are going through your minds for how you could use find and replace to manage content in Canvas. That downloading results tool I found seems like there's a few comments of people who hadn't seen that feature before. So a lot of nice use cases to inventory and provide reports to different departments on tools that you might be phasing out. And then streamlined authoring. That is a tool that today is no cost for Atomic Search users. So if you don't have that turned on, please reach out to Ben and he can help you integrate it. It does take an extra LTI integration to get that going, but it is at no additional cost to your current Atomic Search license. So with that, I'll pause and see if there are any questions that haven't been answered by the team or anything else I can show you in the tool here. Lauren.
I think we did have one question that hasn't been answered from Steve. He wants to know if we have any plans to add find and replace for files.
As far as I know, no plans at the time.
But we
Yeah, so it's certainly something that we can look into. We always do some feature accelerations for clients that are looking to do different things. That one is a bit of a tricky situation we'll want to talk to our devs about because it's actually replacing things in a third party like PDFs or Word documents. So it really is a question of our access and our ability to get to that information, but we could certainly do some investigation to get back to you. Stephen's question about Atomic Author. Right now, we have no plans to charge additional for it. So I can never say never, but yeah, I mean, if you renew in your next renewal, you'll certainly be able to use it for that next uh, search or that next contract year that you have without any concerns.
Awesome. Well, if there's no further questions, we'll close out a minute or two early. But you have our contact information. Please reach out to Ben if you have any questions or if you'd like to get anything set up. Have a great day.